Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 30-day business growth action plan challenge. I am Michelle O'Connor, and I want to thank you for coming on. As you join, you can let me know the type of business that you have if you already have a plan. Over the next 30 days, our aim is to provide you with one thing that you can do daily that can help you to develop your action plan before the holidays. And that is our aim. I have found that so often one of the things that happens for us is we are in operations mode. We're trying to meet our end of year targets. We're doing all the things that we need to do. And somewhere along the line, the planning gets left behind. Because if you're honest, if we're all honest with ourselves, you want to meet your targets, right? You want to be able to achieve your end of year goals. And so that becomes a priority. And the planning is left, and then we rush into it, and we get into this cycle that continues. And that is why I created this challenge to help you, to give you one thing. I know you're busy, so if every day we can spend 15 minutes and I give you just one thing that you can do to create your plan by the end of the year, that would be a great success for all of us. So as you join, just let me know where you're joining from and also the type of business that you have. So let's jump into it. Today, for day one, we're talking about vision. And this is one thing that I've realized a lot of organizations have. We have it on our walls as a founder and a CEO. I know you probably have one for your life. You maybe have one for your business. You may have created one years ago when you started and it has not been revamped. But I wanted to represents that before you go into planning. And as a matter of fact, there should be something that is read in all your weekly meetings, or whenever you come together as a team, because it is so important to be grounded in our why, because that is your vision. Your vision is your why. Your vision is the thing that centers you and gives you purpose. Your vision is that one thing that is greater than you, and it connects something that's inside. I started out by doing vision boards, and one of the things I would always encourage people not to do is don't create a vision board that just has the house and the car and the spouse and all the things, because when you're going through life, for example, and you may come upon a challenging time, is that vision big enough for you to push through? And if you think about business, it's the very same thing. So we're going to be talking about vision today. And every day I'm going to give you just one thing that you can go ahead and think about. So that's what I want to talk about for your vision. The next thing that I want you to think of is when you have a vision that your team is aware of, it gives them something to connect themselves with. What do I mean by that? I remember I worked with a CEO once, and one of the vision that they had for their company was they wanted every employee to become a millionaire. That was bigger than them, because it meant that they had to be something or someone different for their employees to get there. And there were other things, but it's connecting the work that they're doing to something that is bigger than they are. And I want you to remember that as you're going and thinking about your vision. So remember, it's your why. It's not just, I want to make money, because everybody wants to make money. I was at a Tony Robbins AI summit over the weekend, and one of the things that they spoke about, the founder of OpenAI, or past CEO, I should have written down his name. He shared that one of the things that happens for him is, persons come to him a lot and ask questions like, in this world of AI and where AI is going, what should my child study in school? And his response, because he understands the question to be one of economic value, meaning, what can I do to make money? And he said he reminds everyone, do something that you love. And also, when you start doing something or you build a company, remember, be grounded in your vision, be grounded in your values, and be grounded in your mission. It's very important. So I want you to remember that, because I'm going to share 3 examples of CEOs that I've worked with, and how having and not having a vision impacts the plan that you have at the end of the day. Because what tends to happen for us, is when you have a vision that is not shared, or there is no buy-in, or people are working with your company but they don't really buy into your vision, it creates some kind of conflict and it creates overwhelm for you because you're the only one who believe in this one thing. And you may find that you constantly have to be pushing persons to go. So I used to do interviews, and in interviews, persons would talk about why they chose to apply to this company to work. And a lot of the times it would be, we love the vision, we love the mission that you're on. I can see myself buying into it. But if you don't see yourself, or your employees don't see themselves buying into it, that can create some kind of conflict. So we want to first think about our vision, ensure that it is shared among your team, and there is some kind of buy-in. No, what is your vision? Persons might ask as well. This is one other thing I want you to remember. Your vision is not operational. A lot of times, even when I would do vision board workshops, I would say to persons, forget about the how. Don't think about how you're going to do this thing. If you look at forget AI for a moment, but look at all the things that we have access to. Look at electricity, being able to stream on multiple platforms at once. That is because somebody had a vision that I want to be able to connect people across the world, regardless of their geographic location or their social standings. For example, I don't know if that was the vision. I'm just making that up. But that is something that you want to think about. Don't think about the whole right now. Just ground yourself knowing that this is something that you're going to be doing, and you're going to find a way to get it done. It means something to you. It's bigger than you are. That is your vision. No, your vision is clear. When I look at the components of my vision or the vision boards that I've created, it's clear. I know exactly what is on it. It's future focus. It's not 3 months. It's not a year. Your vision is sometimes 3-5 years, and you revamp your vision. And that's why I'm talking about this first, because some of us may have we have a vision for a business, or we have a vision for a company, but it may have been created years ago and you want to look back at that, right? It's inspiring, and as I shared before, it's grounded in purpose. Now I'm going to share with you 3 examples that I've come across and bring home the point as to how not having a vision or having a vision impacts you. So I have a book by a colleague of mine, Rachel Cargill, and what I love about this book, it's a workbook as well. She has a vision for her life where she lives with ease. I'm sure her vision is broader than that, but that's one of the things that she talks about a lot as a person. And what I've realized for her is she has multiple companies, but the minute she starts a company, because she wants to live with ease, she doesn't want to be operational in her business. She hires a CEO. She hires an expert. Why am I sharing this? What happens for us sometimes is that when we are not clear about our personal vision and our business vision, we are not able to plan accordingly. And that is why I want to share this first. Now, if you know that you have a vision, like another CEO I worked with he's operating a multi-million-dollar company across different countries, but he's not at a stage of life where he wants to lead at a national level. No, he wants to give back to society, and there are other things that he wants to do. That is, the mission he's on right now. And what had happened for him is, because he's been pulled, because your vision and your mission for your life pulls you, because he's been pulled towards the vision that he has created for his life, whether or not he has documented it, it now creates a friction with the company, because you're canceling meetings, you're probably late for meetings, you're giving priority to national documents versus company documents. And then when you come to company, it's rush. We're rushing to get things done because they're time sensitive. But I was busy over here doing something else. How can that be different? While you're planning? No, if it is that you are clear on that and you're planning, you are putting things in place to accommodate your other mission, your other responsibility, because your mission is fulfilling your vision. I hope that's making sense. Put a 1 in the chat if you're getting it, and if you think that, this is something that you really need to think about, because you're always going to be pulled into the things that you're naturally drawn at, or it's going to create some conflict. Now, when you are clear on this thing, and your team knows, and what happens is that you're now able to create a plan that can be in operation and in alignment with where you're going. Now, as a CEO and founder, one of the things that we aim to support you with is reducing your stress and your burnout and overwhelm. And that is why this first layer is so important, because once I'm able to get you to think about that vision and think about it in a bigger way, when we create a plan, your plan supports your vision. And it's not just a plan because, oh, I have to do this, or in other companies, the CEO does this work or the admin does this work. You're centering it around your life, right? Now, I have another CEO that I work with who we were in a session beginning to talk about the planning, and we went around the room to ask persons if they were aware of what the goal or the mission of the organization is, and they were not aware. I mean, they had an idea, but it wasn't documented anywhere. Another thing was where the CEO was in his life. He was about family and showing up for his family at all times. The issue that created was based on how that CEO built his business. He was approving everything. Everything had to pass through him, all that kind of thing. Now, you can imagine what happens when family calls and you say yes to family, then the business pause, and then you come in, and again, it's the same thing as I shared before. There's a rush. There are bottlenecks. Things stall. You sit and you create ideas and you develop initiatives, but they don't get executed because you were not present, because you're fulfilling this other part of your life that is a priority. And that is why I wanted to start at this layer, because once you get this part clear, when we start talking about planning and doing, when I work with CEOs, I normally have this conversation first, because I want to be the one to say to you, hey, this is the goal that you have for your life, and I notice that you're moving contrary over this side. Let's revamp. So I want you to think about your vision. If you had it before, look back at it, see if there's anything that has changed. And if you don't have one, I want to just share with you a quick framework that you can use to build one. So ask yourself, what do I want my business to become in the next 3 to 5 years? And you can interchange business and self if you wish. That's fine. The next thing is identify who do you serve and how their lives will improve because your business exists. Who do I serve and how will their lives improve? And ensure that it's really grounded in what you want to do, and it's not just what somebody else says. You may be in a business, for example, you may be in real estate, you're selling homes and you're like, oh, everybody's vision is the same. But no, maybe you want to find places where people can have long-lasting relationships, or people can move in and feeling independent, financial independence. So you're not going to sell them a house that they can't afford, or have them take a loan that's way too much for them. Think about it. Make sure it makes sense for you. The other thing is, why does this matter to me? Like, why do I care? Why should my team care? Why does it matter? Because if you don't buy in and your team don't buy in, then they're just doing, but they're not serving a purpose. And the last thing is, what will my team, clients, and brand look like when we've achieved it? What will this say about us? How will people view us when we've achieved it? And I want you to think about that as you go through this first activity, and join us again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we're now going to go into the other layer. I don't want to jump ahead, but I want you to join us for day 2. We're going to be here for 30 days, and I'm going to be giving you strategies where at the end of the 30 days, you'll have a fully thought through action plan that you can take into 2026. Thank you so much for joining, and have a great day.